Welcome to Take a Look. We'll take a deep dive into the all-new Captain America.
Wait for it.
Captain America, Brave New Worlds, Anthony Mackie stops on our Marvel carpet to answer your epic questions. What is the most epic and cuddly movie out now?
I didn't mean now, Paddington.
Yeah, we'll move over to Here Comes 3. Oscar winner Antonio Banderas weighs in on Paddington in Peru with us.
I waited for you for 7 years.
Get out your tissues. I'm not crying, you're crying. It's romantic movie time. You're about to get goslinged.
What happens if a car comes?
You die.
What?
Just relax.
We'll talk your favorite romantic movies, 'tis the season, and ours as well, as we take a look.
Look. Yeah, we'll do it. This is Take a Look. Welcome to the show. My name is Marcus Allen. We take a look at streaming movies. We take a look at series and, of course, epic movies like Captain America. This is a movie you need to see on the biggest screen possible because it is epic. It is amazing. You know what else is epic and amazing? My good friend Natalie Franklin. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
All right, so I don't know where Paddington fits into the romance movies, but we'll get to that in a minute. Right now, let's just talk about Captain America. This is huge.
Yes, it's a political thriller.
Yeah?
Anthony Mackie's first feature film as Captain America.
True.
It's very exciting.
I love that you brought that up. It is a political thriller, but according to the critics and the audiences on Rotten Tomatoes, it packs a powerful punch with the action as well. The movie does indeed look epic and amazing, and culturally, we have a black Captain America now.
Woo! Just in time for Black History Month.
Yeah, exactly. Now, he talks about not wanting to put the mask on.
Oh, yeah, because it's very uncomfortable. So we
Yeah.
get to see his beautiful face.
Exactly. And also, we got the star power of Harrison Ford coming along for the ride. How does that hit?
Harrison Ford's a classic. I love him.
Yeah, Marvel needs a hit. I think they have it with this, and Anthony Mackie knows it. We caught up in London to talk to him about that. Take a look.
I think it's the start of the next phase of the MCU. I think if you look at Captain America, the first Avenger, and you look at this movie, they're parallel in the same veins because they're both foundations that the universe will be built upon for that big anticipated moment like Endgame. I'm just excited that my movie is the beginning and the first of that.
Oh, look, there they are together.
They have some great anti-chemistry, Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, it's so true, and you have to see the movie to know exactly what we're talking about. So, better than that, why don't you take a look?
I haven't always agreed on how much latitude enhanced individuals deserve. But what you've accomplished has given me reason to reconsider. Which is why I want you, Captain America, to help me rebuild the Avengers.
There you go. The bomb has been dropped. The Avengers are coming back. That's the very first time it was actually committed to. Now you know why this movie is so important.
It's going to be epic.
Doesn't it sound like more and more like Harrison Ford? He needs to gargle before he delivers some of these lines.
But wait, can't you do like a good Harrison Ford impression?
Well, I've interviewed him so many times, and I think he is one of the most, indelibly, the most important American actors of all time, right?
Right.
He is the worst interview of all time.
He definitely has that attitude of I don't want to be here, but I'm here.
My impression is him being interviewed because he acts like he's in pain by whatever you. Just ask a question.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
interviewing
gonna ask
him.
you a question. Okay, Harrison, thank you for being here. How do you feel about your new movie?
I show up, they send a check, kid. That's Harrison Ford. Thank you very much. All right,
good.
Keep in mind, watch this interview, steps away from Anthony Mackie. He looks like he's in a deposition. Watch.
Well, it's a lot of this is based on previous work to establish the character. But the story is a continuation of Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross's story.
Mark.
Oh, is he done?
Yeah.
No, no joke. Doesn't he look like he's in pain by everything he has to say?
Yes, he's tired. He is exhausted. Doesn't want to be there.
All right, he's not the only actor that loves making movies, doesn't like talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's an artist. He wants to make art, not do an interview. I get it.
Exactly. You say see it or don't go see it?
See it.
Absolutely, you got to go see it. And although also most of the movie, I'm so excited about this movie. Most of it's shot in IMAX, so I need to implore you to go see it on the biggest screen possible.
Absolutely. For
All right.
Valentine's Day.
Paddington, not so much. See it on any screen you want to. Why this movie is culturally important, why this movie, Paddington 3, technically, Paddington in Peru, is a must-see from people you don't usually expect to be talking about this kind of movie. Next. Hey, welcome back to Take a Look. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Mark S. Allen. Follow me at TV Mark S. Allen on Instagram. Nori's Black Book on Instagram. You created that, Natalie Franklin.
Yes,
we can also follow you where else?
At Natalie the Hero.
There you go. All right, coming up next, we're right in the middle of well, if you think about it, this is the month of love. We're smack dab in the middle of that. Where does Paddington fall into all of that?
I mean, it can fall right in the middle. You can have some love with a little teddy bear.
You could. And all kinds of people are coming out of the woodwork talking about this movie. I'll tell you how I discovered it in a little while. Meanwhile, you have to admit, no matter where you sit, every frame of this is beautiful.
It is. It looks really crisp. I love, love, love this little bear. He's so cute.
Something so endearing about it. So you were telling me that you weren't really that familiar with Paddington, so you hadn't read the books, you hadn't followed the stories.
Not at all.
Want to know how I came to be a part of this?
How? How'd you find out
So
about it?
there was this Nicolas Cage movie that came out a couple of years ago where he pretty much plays himself. Pedro Pascal is this drug cartel leader that wants to be a movie star, so he hires Nicolas Cage essentially to teach him, right? And he starts telling him, what's your favorite movie of all time? Guess what movie he says?
Paddington Bear?
Technically Paddington 2. Look.
Wow.
Look, can you just stop stalling and answer the question? What is your third favorite movie of all time?
Paddington 2.
What? Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Paddington 2. Connect those dots. I mean, I don't want to be a snob, but...
I cried through the entire thing and made me want to be a better man.
Mom!
Paddington 2 is incredible.
I told you.
You have to see that movie. It makes me want to be a better man.
Did it make you want to be a better man?
It did want to make me be a better man and a better parent. I may need to go back and watch it again a few more times. I talked to Emily about it as well. I talked to the whole cast about it. We will get to Antonio in a moment. Meanwhile, your two leads. Take a look.
We're living in quite divisive and divided times, and when there is something that everybody can enjoy, no matter, you know, how old they are or where they live, and when it's something that's so thoughtfully and beautifully made with such a sort of sweet and funny spirit behind it as Paddington, it's sort of just, it's like, it's almost medicinal.
Very much so. I'm very spiritual about movies. I feel like movies, I will walk away from them, I either feel smarter or happier. But there's something about this movie that wraps itself around you like a cup of hot cocoa. Can you define why? How?
I think because at its heart we're dealing with a character who we can identify with, in the sense that we've all been outsiders, a stranger in a foreign land, or a new kid in a new school. And so we identify with Paddington's vulnerability. We want to make sure he's going to be okay. And we know also that his modus operandi of being kind and polite and seeing the best in people brings out the best of these are virtues that we should all aspire to, or do all aspire to, and fall short of. So Paddington is the best of us, I think, and shows the best of humanity or ursinity, and the innocent scrapes and adventures he gets into delight us along the way. But we know things will turn out all right in the end, like all good stories.
And look at that. Hugh's been in all three of them. Can you imagine you're a classically trained actor, Shakespearean trained for that matter, and the bulk of your career you're stuck in these movies.
Right, that's what you're known for, being in a movie with a cuddly teddy bear.
And with that said, they are poignant and profound movies, and you've got a take on Antonio Banderas. What are your thoughts about him being a part of this?
He used to be this hot action thriller movie, and now he's like a hot kids movie star.
Right.
I love a pivot. I love the pivot.
You were saying in the break, you were saying that he took a taste of that Spy Kids money and
Yeah.
just ran with that.
The
I'm going to do
Spy
Puss in
Kids
Boots.
money.
I'm going to do the bear. Whatever you can put me in, let's do it.
Exactly.
He does have a charming take on being a part of this movie, though. Look.
I have friends that don't like family movies, would never go to a kid movie, but then they always go, but I love Paddington. What is it about this bear and these movies?
I don't know. It's true. He got a very unique, attractive, enigmatic sometimes personality. with beautiful virtues. I think loyalty, how he measured himself in a very British way, manners, sweetness, intelligence. And eventually he got character too. And he confronts things and he can scream and scare you, and you see a side of him that is kind of, whoa, he does that only once every movie. But when he does it, it's very impressive actually. And I think all of those things makes the character very attractive to many people, even people, as you said, that don't like, family movies.
Yeah. As we wrap it up, did you take away anything from your character? Your character learns, he's very complicated and walks away a better man at the end. Did you walk away better for having played it?
Well, yeah, there's a lesson here for everybody, probably, every father. You can actually learn from your kids. And that's probably the last lesson that you can learn from this character. He's struggling the whole entire time just trying to avoid to be what he is, a man obsessed with gold. But it's through his daughter that he comes to his senses and then finds himself. And he is a good man thanks to her. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to it. It makes me want to be a better man, just like Pedro Pascal said. I love his voice. I want his voice to be my Siri. It is time to turn left now.
Just ask Puss in Boots to do it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Paddington in Peru, you probably need something. It's a date night for the family. Take them to go see it. It is playing in theaters exclusively right now, and I suggest you see it that way, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right, speaking of date nights, it is the month of love, so as we hit the middle of it, we're going to dust off some movies like...
The Notebook.
And while we're at that, we might as well dust off something like...
The Wood.
Exactly, that and all of the classics, what you might want to rewatch this weekend as we continue. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Take a Look. Thanks for hanging out. Right now we're talking about the most romantic movies ever because we're deep in the heart of the most romantic month of them all. Natalie Franklin, thanks for being here because, I traditionally don't like romantic, but Pulp Fiction is my favorite romantic movie. I'm probably not best on topic.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? I love a romantic movie.
All right, so let's start with The Notebook. What did that mean to you?
Oh my gosh, tearjerker. It's romantic. It's It's Ryan Gosling.
Right.
It is a great movie.
It made me cry for a multitude of reasons, maybe not the same as you. The dad, the adult version of him is played by James Garner, Jim Rockford, who looks a lot like my dad. So every time I saw it, dust out the tissues for that reason. And that raining scene, the most romantic scene, the penultimate scene in this movie.
Why didn't you write me?
Oh, there you go again. I talked to Rachel McAdams just about the depth of it and if she knew what she was getting into. Take a look.
You hope it has a great reaction. You hope that, men come out to see a romance.
And jump out of their shallow behavior and admit that they like to fall in love just as much as women like.
Please.
When I was a kid growing up, women would get together and talk about an affair to remember, and they would break down crying, just, reminiscing about a movie they had seen 20 years before.
Yeah.
And then later on, same with Sleepless in Seattle, which featured that movie. I think the same is going to go on with this movie. This is going to be one of those timeless romantic classics that people pull off the shelves and dust off
and
you think?
Have a good cry. I hope so. That would be really nice.
Have you seen it with an audience?
Yeah.
And did you look around and did you see it, everybody sobbing?
I didn't need to look. I sort of didn't want to look. Afraid I would sort of just break. It was like this little bubble of fantasy that I was in. But I could hear people, sobbing, laughing, clapping, crying, little sniffles. It was really nice.
It does have hints of humor along the way just to break up the gut-wrenching drama.
Right, which is very much like love. You have to be able to laugh.
True.
You have to be able to laugh in it as well.
So true. Say what you will about my lackluster interview skills, both then and now, but I did call it. Documented there. I said this movie we'll be talking about decades later.
It is a classic. It will never go out of style. It will age beautifully. It's so good.
And the scene not to miss.
The scene not to miss, like you said, the rain scene. When why don't you write me? Why didn't you write me?
I love how I go into this scene. Yeah, I'm not into romantic movies at all, but every time you mention that, I start sniffling a little bit indeed. All right, The Wood. Technically, if you look at the snapshot of this, the trailer when this came out, turn of the century, it looked like it was a buddy picture. But truth be told, it's an incredibly romantic movie.
It's an incredibly love story mixed in with a coming of age story. I think this is perfect for people like you that don't like the mushy gushy stuff.
Yep.
But like the comedy at the forefront. But it's a great movie.
Hey, man, the dawn of Taye Diggs' career, Omar Epps as well. Had a chance to talk to him about it. Look.
Your character, is he at all like you? I know the character's pretty much modeled after the author's life growing up, but did it match your life at all?
Didn't match my life. Kind of, you know, some parts of the character, you know, the kind of, you know, that conscious and kind of level-headed guy. That was kind of me, yeah.
How about your earliest memories of the pursuit of Not that that's a big deal in this movie, but there are some moments.
Yeah, my earliest memories, they're pretty, you know, they're in sync with the movie, you know. It didn't happen when I wanted it to.
Any particular failure that you recall? Any big moment?
Not really failure, just not knowing, you know. It's like when you finally do get that moment for the first time, you have no clue. And it's that fear and that in the midst of all that anxiety, and you have the desire, you just don't have the know-how.
Oh man, Omar Epps talking about a simpler time and a time when I looked like Lance Bass, evidently.
Yeah, you look great. You both look great. Babies.
He does not even look like, some people look like an older version of themselves. He's kind of transformed.
Right. He's looked good throughout the years.
Doing different roles these days.
Yes.
Favorite scene in that movie?
I have so many, but I do like the middle school dance scene.
Middle school dance scene is great.
Yes, and the liquor store getting robbed scene is very, very funny. There's just so many good movies. I mean, excuse me, good scenes in this movie.
Yeah, and kind of if you're doing any kind of wedding prep, you'll also be able to relate to this as well.
Exactly.
If you're a bachelor or bachelorette to be. All right, so coming up, let's keep it going. Sleepless in Seattle begat You Got Mail. So coming up, we'll talk about a movie truly for the AOL generation, and along with that, truly a movie of this century.
Yes.
Romantic movies. We'll talk about them next. Hey, welcome back. It is Take a Look. Right now we're talking about movies that you can take a look at wherever you can get your movies that you would otherwise dust off if it were physical media. Old romantic movies. So first there was Sleepless in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Did so well with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. They dusted him off only a couple years later for You've Got Mail.
Exactly, exactly.
And I said truly for the AOL generation. If you still have an AOL email account, chances are this is one of your favorite movies.
Exactly. I'm AOL, AIM, like take us back.
When we talked about this, I said, I'm not sure that this ages gracefully. What did you say?
I said, I think it does age gracefully because of the nostalgia. I think you'll appreciate watching this movie and be like, oh, I remember You Got Mail. Oh, I remember not having cell phones and dating. Ah, what a time.
Yeah, exactly. I remember talking to the two of them and just how comfortable they were in real life, real chemistry. Look.
It's good to see you.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Congratulations on another wonderful movie.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks.
wonderful.
Nice of you.
A delight to watch. Were you a little nervous that you'd be able to recreate all the energy and chemistry you had the first time around?
Well, we had Nora to kind of do it
And also,
for us.
you got to kind of forget the thing beforehand anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the only good thing was we didn't have to get to know each other. I mean, that was the best thing, right?
Yeah,
We didn't
that's
have to,
true.
like,
You
slowly
kind of
get
knew
to
you were
know
getting
each other
into
and figure it out.
sort of a trustful relationship, right?
Plunge headlong into it.
Yeah.
How about the online thing? Did either of you have to do research to get used to all of that, or were both of you sort of well-versed in the whole email concept?
Oh, it was my first computer, the one they gave me for research here.
Really?
You didn't have a computer
No.
before?
No.
Wow.
Now, see, there are a lot of techno geeks out there going, what's wrong with you? Come on.
Well,
Jump
I've
on.
incurred their wrath, but here it's reality.
What do you do? How about you?
I had never had time to do it and didn't know if it was going to be something that was worthwhile to have or not. But on this, look, I think email should replace the telephone as far as I'm concerned. Get rid of that thing.
How wild is that? We're talking about the whole concept of email.
Have you
Hey, do you think it's going to stick around, this
Yeah.
email thing?
Their questions are so funny and so part of the time. Do you have a computer?
Exactly.
Have you researched that email thing? That is hilarious.
I love that they brought up Nora Ephron. I forgot about that. That movie lives and breathes with the late Nora Ephron.
Yes.
And that brings up Something's Gotta Give. Do you know that movie?
I think I do. Is that with Diane Keaton?
And yeah, she hooks up with Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
All right, but I digress. Shout out Nora Ephron, wherever you are. All right, so coming up next, a movie that's for this generation, definitely.
Yes, exactly. Are
To
we
All the
talking
Boys
about
I've
To
Loved.
All the Boys I've Ever Loved. I'm way too old to be into this movie because it's a high school, once again, coming of age movie, but I died for this movie. I've seen it so many times.
One of the most viewed online movies to release exclusively streaming ever, which is why they cranked out a sequel very quickly thereafter. I caught up with Lana to talk about that. Look. Nice to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
Awesome work in this.
Thank you so much.
How creepy is it that a middle-aged guy like me found myself leaning into this movie, weeping openly?
Listen, you would be surprised. This is the exact reaction that I get from most men
Right.
that watch the movie. First of all, they say, yeah, my girlfriend and my wife, like, they loved the movie and they thought it was like really cute. So like, and they said you have to sit and you have to watch it. So she made me watch it, and we were sitting on the sofa and I was watching it, and it was really cute. That's what they always say. They go, it was really cute.
So I'm not alone.
You're not alone.
I need to not be shamed for my love of this movie.
No, don't be shamed.
Did you have any idea, and I think you probably did because the book was so successful, that the first movie was going to land as big as it did?
No. I knew the book was so successful, but no one had even bought our movie. Like, we made the movie not even knowing that anyone would even see it. We didn't even know if anyone would see it. Huh. So we were hoping, but in no world did we think that it would be received the way that it was, because we didn't even think anyone was going to see it. You know what I'm saying? And that was just really shocking and refreshing and overwhelming. And I'm so grateful. I really am. Like, the people that watch the movie, they're so loving and kind.
To all the boys to which you said you're too old to appreciate it, how do you think that makes me feel that I led that interview by saying I'm too old to appreciate it?
Right. We're way too old to be so engulfed in these high schoolers' romantic life, but that's how good the movie is.
It is so good, and if you're looking for something to dust off for a romantic weekend, I highly recommend it, no matter what your age, because it will take you back to that moment in time if you are a few generations past it already.
Like us.
Like us. All right, check out Natalie Franklin again on Instagram. Where do we find you?
Nori's Black Book and Natalie the Hero.
I'm at TV Marcus Allen on Instagram. Coming up next week, we're going to be talking about all things Academy Awards. Quick, give your Academy Award speech, Natalie.
I like to thank God, my parents, and the homies.
Oh, you're such a class act. I was going to thank Vans in hopes they'd send me some more shoes. All right, see you next time. Be good. Peace out.